Sirinipati Raja. I live in London. So, to tell me a little bit about me, I used to be a chemistry teacher back in Sri Lanka. After coming to UK, I worked as a food safety auditor.
I'm Fiona and I am an investor, used to be a physician in the NHS. I live in London and also a little bit in Copenhagen because my husband is Danish. So it's sort of an international family now. What is home?
What is home? It's the family together and friends. It's the safety net, actually speaking. And doing things together and be happy. Yeah. So that's the most important thing for us. Actually, we've been living in many countries over the world. So that it is for us now. Being together means having a nice meal, and then whenever they have free time. So those things are the most important things. And always talk about the healthy living. Very important.
I think home is wherever my family is, and also where Sarah and my husband is. And I think I'm more attached to things or to sort of the coziness of a place than perhaps my parents who've lived all over the world as adults. Because I've only ever really properly lived in Africa as a young child with my parents, and then lived in the UK, and now I live a little bit between the UK and Denmark.
We started our life in Edinburgh. Oh yeah, that's our place. I love that place. That gave me everything to be today who I am now, like a friendly person. That when I came to Edinburgh, actually speaking, we went to Edinburgh for my husband to do his PhD. So I joined him, leaving everything behind in Sri Lanka, my family, friends, all the course in it, everything. Leaving there, came to Edinburgh. But from there, I learned a lot. That's a great biggest start. After that, my husband wanted to do more research. So she was born in Edinburgh. So then after that, we went to Africa. Yeah, we had a great time.
Which country?
Many places. We lived for a long time in Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and all over Kenya, Malawi, Ethiopia. All we've been traveling. Yeah, due to my husband's work. That's why it's really a wonderful, feeling towards, human beings. It's really lovely hearted people. For them, money is not everything, but they were happy. Happiness was the number one thing for them.
So when I was about 9 years old, we moved to England, and we've lived there ever since. And then my parents, when me and my sister, I was a young doctor, my sister was at university, they then moved again. They moved to Hong Kong, then they moved to China. So it's a very global story, and I think that it makes you resilient, and it makes you able to get on with most people really.
No fear of anything, just traveling everywhere, and it's really. I did all the traveling on my own, so all this gave me the strength, as a woman, to do all these things. For me, as I said before, living in all over the world, money is not everything, but I felt nowadays, without money you can't do anything. You need money. So I thought my life, working hard and being honest, you can achieve whatever you want. Coming here from Sri Lanka, actually this country we can do anything. The sky is the limit. We had top jobs. That means really, we didn't have any monetary wise. Actually, I got a very nice pay, and our parents were really giving everything for us. But I can remember right throughout, I had a plan. I was very well organized with my monetary work, and everything was organized and planned. And because of that lifestyle gave me, I always felt I had enough money. I was happy, and so I can remember I used to write down all the expenditure. all in a book, and saving money every month in the bank and things like that. Now everything done. Now we enjoy our money. They don't need our money. we both enjoy traveling, my husband and myself, and do a lot of charity work in Sri Lanka with poor kids with their education, helping them.
And do you still, to this day, write?
No. Now I gave everything to my husband. I handed it over. Before, I did everything, the family monetary stuff, everything. After they both got married, then I thought that time for me to relax and have a nice, to enjoy my life, actually speaking.
I think that my relationship with money as an adult now feels very comfortable. I feel very relaxed around it. I enjoy, probably more than my parents did, sort of spending money, especially on experiences, spending time with my friends and family. I also understand that money is a tool, so it's a tool to build and create wealth. You can save and invest. There's sort of different things you can do with money, and I feel very, I guess, at ease with it as a grown-up. So that's really and the relationship over time, I think, as somebody who has a bigger income now than I did as a young doctor, I feel more relaxed about it. When I was a younger doctor, I felt, especially living in London, cost of living is high, your wage is relatively, not so great, so that was challenging as well.
As a young doctor, at that time they were learning, and I think they work hard to get their money, and they have the goals, and in life they are enjoying those things. And both of them, my other daughter also, they are both very busy, but having a good life. So I think that's what we wanted from them. So if they are happy, comfortable, only thing when they need any help, they talk about it. Otherwise, even we don't talk about it, about money. And then we talk about it, and with our experience, how can we sort if there is any problem, especially the other daughter. And we advise them, if you do this way, that will be better. So, but we don't interfere with anything. We don't talk about their money. They work hard. They have to do whatever they want to do. That's how I feel. And we both feel, my husband, also myself.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think money is the thing that we really talk about so much in our, certainly from our Sri Lankan heritage.
And other thing, I think, I'm not guilty. I didn't waste my money, and actually I did live I didn't do anything beyond my means. And but when it comes to my family, I didn't think twice. I spent whatever they think they wanted. That's how I brought them up. So both of them, they know that. So
do you feel that was a sacrifice?
I sacrificed myself, but what we wanted our second generation to be comfortable and better than the way we live. But now we are very happy, very busy, but they live very comfortable. We are very proud of both of them.
We definitely realised when we were young that our parents were sacrificing things for us, and I think it's it's a very privileged position to be in, that somebody cares about you so much that they are willing to do that. And I think now as a grown up, as an adult, I like to spoil them and get nice things, whether it's things or experiences, things that we can do together, because I think that's my way of sort of paying it back.
Now we enjoy together. So she gives me the best things, and both of them, and it's really lovely. Then we go on holiday together, have meals together. That's really lovely.
Or do you think there's cultural differences in the way that the average British person compared to a Sri Lankan view or a Danish view to money?
I think we were talking about this before. The whole thing about in the Buddhist culture, there's a lot around giving. So it doesn't matter per se how wealthy you are, you give within your means to charity, which is much more ingrained in the Sri Lankan culture than it is. So for example, my parents are professional sort of people. They're constantly very interested in giving, whereas my partner is from a very wealthy background and doesn't believe in giving because in Denmark the taxes are so high. So they believe that giving is, built into society. So that's a really societal difference that I've picked up between Sri Lankan people and sort of British or Danish people.
That is the Buddhist way of thinking. Whatever we earn, we have to give something to the poor, not poor, the needy people, for charity. And even the lowest income people in Sri Lanka, the society, they have that feeling. They do that the way they could.
They're also giving.
Yeah, giving a little bit of at least money or a helping hand is really a great thing. So, but I think that is something to do with, I think, maybe Buddhism and the Buddhist way of thinking too, I think. That's how both of us, my husband and myself, we always think that.
But I don't think it's just down to that. I think it's also in the Western world, society is different because institutions and things are stronger. So you can rely on the state. If you don't have a job or if you're sick, the state might help you in Denmark or the UK. But in Sri Lanka, actually, it might that safety net might not be there. So you have to rely on your friends and family more.
That's a point.
That's a very
That's a very good point.
Yeah, interesting. Do you have any kind of strange or slightly different memories about money or money saving or anything like that?
Not per se something like that, but I think in terms of a mindset, I always found it rather odd that my parents would always think about money in various currencies. So they're constantly like, oh, this is this, and this thing costs £10 in British pounds, it costs this much in US dollars, it costs this much in Sri Lankan rupees, it costs this much. And I never really understood why that is. And suddenly you realized, oh, actually, it's because if you're having money in different amounts, the foreign exchange rate really matters. And then when they moved to Hong Kong and China, suddenly they're thinking of it in Hong Kong dollars, etc. And I didn't get it. But then when I started living between London and Denmark, I started thinking in Danish kroner and the British pound and realized, oh, this is why they're operating like that.
That's right, exactly. So all the transaction we need that, not only in to Sri Lanka, other places also we do a little bit of charity work. Even in Africa we send money. So for that we had to have the best, because as we both are not professional. Although we are professional, we were not business people. Because of that we did everything according to the rule. That is the thing we had to check. So that was the reason. And at that time, Fiona didn't have any interest about these money matters, and now she's doing the same thing. Yeah. So and other thing, we didn't want them to look into this money matters, and we wanted them to get on with their lives. So we provided things. That's what we used to do. So even when she went to the university, we put money, and she did whatever she wanted to do. Even that, I never questioned. After giving, that her way of whatever she wants, she can spend. That's the way we both did things for them.
I think obviously it feels good, and I think I was also, with that responsibility comes a duty, and I think my duty is very much to be, a conscientious, great student. I was, I qualified as a doctor, I was top of my year, all that stuff, and I think that comes from that sort of, it's not a transaction without anything in it. It's sort of saying, actually, I'm trusting you, so you have to also step up to the plate. And I like to think I did.
Yes, well.
So hopefully.
Evidently.
With my first salary, I bought 2 pairs of gold bangles. And that it's a really great thing when I think. Now after that I passed them on to my both daughters. Now all done, and so very happy when I think about it actually now. I was so happy. Yeah, it's really a lovely thing. Even at that time I had that feeling to save, without wasting, and with the first salary I did that.
Well, I suppose on the same vein of jewellery, when I moved from being a doctor in the NHS to being an investor, I bought myself a watch which I'd coveted for a long time, and it was a gift to myself, from myself. And it actually, to be honest, getting it was, it was fine, but I think it was more about what it represented, the big transition in life and moving and sort of celebrating, which we hadn't done so much, the thing about actually sort of pausing and reflecting on your life. So I bought that as sort of a meaningful thing to celebrate the transition in my life.
We were talking about, our product, Bloom Circles, which Fiona says was a behaviour that you recognised in Sri Lanka. I wonder if you could tell us a bit about that.
The seed too.
we call it C2 in Sri Lanka. As groups, especially in teaching community. When I was a teacher, I didn't do it with them right from the beginning, but everybody had a group like 10 or 20, but very honest people, but very well written and everything documented, and they get together and at that time used to put £100 per person. Then if it is 12 people, then 1,200. At that time you can get quite a lot of money, things with that. And this is how it worked. Somebody is getting married, so that first chance goes to that person, and the rest by lottery we have to select the second, third, fourth month. And the first person who got the first amount, she's the one always, she had to look after the whole thing, whether all the money is collected properly and given to the person and things like that. Now they do in special, now in even doctors, hospitals, all the doctors together, they do in big ways, like putting lakhs and lakhs. Sometimes some of them 1 million per person, and then 10 people, then a nice 10 million. With 10 million, it's really nice. Then somebody can buy whatever, then other person can next month they can buy a car or something. So it's a great thing that we didn't go, those days we didn't go for these loans. We didn't have the culture. So this is how I didn't do much. I didn't get chance because I came here. So I can remember when I did the first thing. With that money, I can remember I told her, I paid for my first wardrobe with that money. Then before coming here, I put the rest of the money into one of my good friends and asking her to put every month to complete the whole year. That's a really lovely thing, lovely. And being together, it's really a good thing. And for that, we have to have very honest people.
In a sentence-ish, what is wealth to you?
Wealth to me is, I guess it's the freedom to do what I want with my time in the way that I want to do it, without having somebody else dictating how that should be.
For me, health is wealth. Now, over 70 means we have to think about our body, and then we always think about the meditation and how the way deteriorating. So, health is my wealth, but monetary wealth, without that, it's difficult to have healthy living. We need money for doing it. Only thing, everything has to be balanced, to have a balanced life. That's how I think now.